All right, good morning. Look at this, nice turnout. Hey Todd, can you hear me? No, that's nice, this is awesome. You can hear inside the theater, but they can't hear outside, so that's great. Thank you for being here. Glad to see so many faces in this theater, so many people on the show floor. I think they got an early start. I think people ran through security and got an early start here before the show floor even opened. So this is more activity than we anticipated. By 10:15, we're starting 15 minutes after the show floor to give you a chance to get in here. So I'm Bill Giebler. I'm Content and Insights Director of Nutrition Business Journal, and that's part of New Hope Network, and I'm really and that's why they have me on this Thrive stage. We focus mostly on the dietary supplement industry at Nutrition Business Journal, and this is our content here isn't particularly about dietary supplements for overall, but this is the neighborhood. The Thrive neighborhood is where you're going to find the supplements and other things under the Thrive umbrella. So let's look at what's happening today. On the Thrive stage in about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to have a conversation with Wright, CEO of Vitamin Shoppe. Really excited about that. That's going to be a great conversation. So I think you already know that. That's why you're sitting here. Right after that, and thanks to NIQ for sponsoring that session. Right after that, my colleague Rick Polito is going to have a conversation with Jack Gayton of Vitamin Shoppe and Jonathan Lawrence of Fresh Time Market and talk about how to get product on shelf at key retailers. And it's not just about those two retailers, it's about like what big retailers are looking for, and it'll be relevant for access to all the retailers. And then we got a whole bunch of other stuff. We got Luminize at 11:30. These are called stage takeovers. These are sponsored spots. They're going to come up and they're going to talk to you about what they can do for your business. And these should be great learning opportunities just about your business in general. Some of those are brands, some are service providers. Luminize is a service provider. We've got Miracle Noodle coming on at 12:15. And Infra is the Independent Natural Food Retailers Association, and those folks are coming up to do a little workshop, masterclass on merchandising. So look forward to that one. That should be a good session. It should be fun too, to get into merchandising a little bit. And then another stage takeover from Nature's Find. And then at 2:45, this is the 30th anniversary of DSHEA. DSHEA is the Dietary Supplement Health and Education Act, and without it, the dietary supplement industry would be very different than it is. So this is an important year. It's the 30th anniversary. At Nutrition Business Journal and New Hope, we made a documentary about it. We're going to be showing that documentary for about 15 minutes at 2:45. Thanks to 5 sponsors on that. I'll come back to that at 2:45. And then at 3:30, a lot of fun happens here. CPG Unwrapped. I keep calling this a pitch slam without the slam. No one gets slammed. There are no sharks in this tank. It's just an opportunity for, I think, 8 or 9 brands to come up here. It's a timed pitch. They get to tell you what their brand's about. There's a mocktail and cocktail happy hour happening simultaneous to that. If you don't know about it, Thrive Cafe is right over here. So lots going on today. Use the app. So everyone, if you don't have the app already, download the app right now. It's a really great way to understand what's going on all over the show floor. There's games on the app that are fun. One of them's a scavenger hunt. In fact, there's a QR code on the wall over there. If you're part of the scavenger, if you want to play scavenger hunt, go scan that QR code on the wall over there. During the keynotes, we're going to be doing that. And the agenda is on the app. You can filter the agenda. It makes recommendations. You can use the app to make conscious connections, set up meetings with people, do that. The app even tells you where you are on the show floor and helps you find where you want to be on the show floor. Or, well, hopefully you know where you want to be and it'll tell you where that is. So download the app and download it right now because we're going to do a couple of polling questions just to get the energy going here. And you can get to the polling question through the app, hit the live interaction button, and go to the polling question. So do that. Let's do a couple polling questions just for fun. If you didn't have time to do the app, I won't be too disappointed, but you can go straight to the polling question here. This will take you, bypass the app and go straight to the polling question. Which session are you most excited to see at Newtopia now? So did everyone scan that QR code? Answer that question. I still see some people's cameras up. Get that QR code, because in a second we're going to look at the answers. What session are you most excited to see at Newtopia now? And try to keep it short, 1 or 2 words makes the word cloud work better. Let's go ahead and look at the results of the question. Blue Zone, that's tomorrow right here on this stage. Shoppe content, awesome. That's right here at 2:45. There might be other Shoppe content. TikTok shop, vitamin shop, right in about a minute. Supplements, nice, looking good. I think this is target audience specific. We're getting some supplement heavy stuff here. All right, as fun as that is, let's move on to the next question. What one word comes to mind when you think about the future of retail in the nutrition and wellness industry? This is a great question to set up our retail content, a lot of retail content over the course of the day. So what one word comes to mind? Ba-ba-bum. All right, let's see the answers to that. Sorry if I'm not giving you enough time, but I want to really get onto this talk with Lee Wright. So no one word is jumping out. Lots of good stuff though. Personalization, probiotics, wow, success, automation, complicated. It's funny, the word complicated keeps showing up in front of something. Complicated business, complicated education. Complicated probiotics. There we go. And let's not do that third question. Let's move on to the content here with Lee. Really happy. Thank you to NIQ again for sponsoring this session. Lee Wright is the CEO of Vitamin Shoppe, and I'm really excited about Lee. He's new to the industry. He started in finance. He had a good career in finance, and then he went into the energy sector, and then into home furnishings in operational roles, and then he found himself in an executive leadership role at Vitamin Shoppe just over a year, about a year and a half ago. And so it's always interesting, I think, for people coming outside of the industry with lots of executive leadership experience, but not lots of dietary supplement experience. What's that like? What do they bring to the industry that is different from people who grew up in this industry? So Lee Wright, CEO of Vitamin Shoppe. Come on up, Lee. Hey, Lee.
Hey.
Thank you. All right. Well, hello. Hello, Lee. Hello, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
We are going to start off with a video. Let's start off with that Vitamin Shoppe brand video. And yeah, let's roll that. And then we'll start talking.
It's about to drop. It's my time, it's your time, it's showtime. 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 Are you ready?
All right, that's a nice quick little look at the Vitamin Shoppe brand. It's such a great story. I was in a Vitamin Shoppe just the other day. I thought, oh, I'm talking to Lee Wright. I better brush up on what you're doing in the store. And I'll tell you, it was sort of awkward because I wanted to look at everything in the store, and the customer service was so on it. They kept asking me if I needed help, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Our health
And-
enthusiasts are our secret sauce.
Yeah, that's great. They were on it. And then I said, no, are you finding everything okay? Yeah, I'm finding everything okay. And then I left empty-handed, and they were probably like, what? I thought you found everything okay. But it was really a pleasant environment, and lots of different private label and stuff in there. So really, how many stores are there?
700.
700 stores. And I see you're making your way around to them. I see on LinkedIn, you...
The V, exactly, for the Vitamin Shop. Not for Peace, for the Vitamin Shop, although I'm for Peace as well.
Okay,
So, yeah.
yeah, pro-peace, pro-vitamins. These are not contradictory concepts. So, Vitamin Shop puts out a trends report every year. And tell us a little bit about that trends report and how long you've been doing it. It's free to download?
It's free. It's in our press section of the vitaminshop.com. And it's a very nice amalgamation of all the trends that we're seeing, and whether it's through our customers and our 700 stores, whether it's through vitaminshop.com. We do a consumer survey nationwide to see what people are seeing, as well as our merchants that are across, meeting with so many different people and seeing what the trends are and what's upcoming and where we as a company are going to lean into.
Yeah, what are the trends?
Well, the 5 big trends that we are certainly focused on for this year, the first, and which everyone's fully aware of, are the GLP-1s and the nutrient support that goes with that. So many people have decided that perhaps that may be a way for them to help lose weight, and to the extent they're doing that, how do we as a company work with them? And so from a nutrient support perspective, a nutraceutical and supplementation perspective, let's focus on, while you're in a caloric deficit, let's ensure that you're getting enough protein. Are you getting enough fiber? Are you getting the probiotics? Are you getting the multivitamin? Because you are in that caloric deficit. So that's one area that we've certainly leaned in on. The second area that I would tell you has been very important for us is gut health. We're seeing a lot of focus on the gut, which is really seen as your second brain and a real understanding. We're seeing sales of our ProBioCare brand up dramatically. The other area is obviously the quest for longevity. Everybody wants to live longer, but do you want to live longer, or do you want to live longer, healthier, and an active lifestyle? So much more not about lifespan, but health span, and how are we making sure that we're supporting that, whether it's cognitive health, cellular health, joint ability, and from there. So we're really focused on that area. We've seen another area that we're leaning into is for women's health, ages 40 plus. Look, I've been married for a long time. I've watched my wife go through things. She's got 3 sisters. And I will tell you, since I started the Vitamin Shop, the thing that they have always been focused and said, Lee, I'm going through a lot of changes, and they're all sort of in their late 40s, early 50s, saying, what do you have from a supplement perspective that can help us? So it was actually very timely that as a company that we were also leaning in and realizing that perhaps as an industry we hadn't been there and seeing what women go through from a hormonal perspective and emotional, physical. There's a lot of things that they go through, and so what are we doing? So some of the things we've brought in a lot of new brands, whether it's Solar Ray's Life Stages, whether it's Weil, Health and Hers, to try and help women, whether it's perimenopause, menopause, or postmenopause. We've leaned in from that perspective.
That's interesting. Like the word perimenopause on a supplement, I saw that for the first time about 2 years ago. It's really interesting to see how that category is broadening. When you went looking for more menopause support, more women's health support, did you have trouble finding it, or did you just have to look?
No, I would say a lot of brands are actually realizing that it's an area that women have wanted, but nobody's been there to meet that need. And honestly, I will say, I don't know how women do it. Sometimes I think they suffer in silence, so I'm glad there's things actually trying to help women as they go through that time period in their life. So
yeah.
My wife keeps saying, what else are you doing? Keep doing more.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, and I think, I like you mentioned Solar Ray, their life stages. I think life stages is a really great way to label that, and it's not just a women's health supplement multi. Then we saw women's over 50. We saw, but now it's like, well, no, let's focus on specific areas and timelines of a woman's health journey.
Yeah, and the last thing that we didn't talk about was functional beverages. This is the last area that we're leaning in on. We're seeing a lot of people, I think younger people, really focused on perhaps not as much alcohol in their lives, but they still want a non-alcoholic lift or a buzz. I will say I've certainly really enjoyed those drinks, and as a family, I've been drinking less on my own health and wellness journey, and so the functional beverages with their adaptogens, nootropics, botanicals, they taste great. They do give you a nice little lift, so it's been a really nice aspect that we've leaned into as a company.
Yeah, that's great. And so you mentioned non-alcoholic, so not just a functional beverage that I can grab and go at 11 in the morning, but are you selling into that social beverage concept?
I think people are actually drinking them, at a cocktail event, et cetera, and choosing to go the non-alcoholic route.
Yeah, that's interesting. Let's talk a little bit more about the GLP-1 drugs. You mentioned nutritional support around that. Are you also selling supplements? We're kind of seeing it at Nutrition Business Journal, seeing two opportunities. One is supplements that have a similar mechanism of action. Let's try to help you lose weight or manage your blood sugar from a GLP-1 direction, and then let's support people who are on the pharmaceutical drugs to help them get nutrients. Are you playing in both of those sides?
We're playing all angles from
Yeah.
that. I think we're clearly seeing, as a nation, we've seen the obesity epidemic continue to grow, and everyone's very focused on their weight, rightly so. And how can you do it? Can you do it through a supplementation perspective? And obviously, we've seen our berberine sales go up dramatically. People call it nature's Ozempic. We've seen things saying if you were on a GLP-1, what perhaps could help augment and help increase the benefit of your GLP-1? What are things that can help you just as you are on the GLP-1 to make sure that you're getting the right, multivitamins, the right nourishment, et cetera, while you're in that caloric deficit? So a lot of different angles, and the last piece of it is obviously our Whole Health RX that we recently.
Yeah, so when you say you're playing all angles of it, you really are. You're playing the pharmaceutical side of it too. Let's go there in a minute, because I think that's a really fascinating thing that Vitamin Shoppe is doing. What else did you mention, though? You mentioned health span and longevity. We've got some content tomorrow morning around that. Got a great panel tomorrow morning, and we have Dan Buettner, the Blue Zones dude, will be on stage here. So we're seeing a lot of that, too. We're talking about it a lot. We're hearing about it a lot. Anything else to say about the longevity play?
Well, I think really people are trying to understand how can they help at a cellular level, a regeneration level, and what can I help my cellular, that aspect of it, and as well as the cognitive piece. So again, our sales of cognitive support has gone up dramatically as well. So everyone's very focused at a very micro level to ensure that they have that longer, appropriate health span where they can live an active life in their later stages.
Yeah. A lot of stuff. Did we miss any? You listed a few trends there. Women's health, the Ozempic era.
Gut health.
Gut health, yeah. Anything else to add about gut health?
Well, gut health is fascinating in the sense that I do think it's been one of those, people haven't really talked about gut health. And I think people are much more, you saw Gut Talk on TikTok take off with, over 1 billion views. You've seen a lot of people really much more willing to talk about something that really no one spoke about before, and how do you support that? And so again, as I've talked about, we've seen our sales of the pre, pro, and postbiotics increase dramatically, not only our brand, but other brands.
Yeah, great. Well, let's talk about that pharma play. I think it's about a year old, not even a year old.
Not even a year old.
So Whole Health RX, and what is it?
So Whole Health RX is by the Vitamin Shoppe is really the way that we want to ensure that our customers can focus on their choices. We believe that customers really need to think about the choices in their health and wellness journey is how they define it. And obviously we were founded in 1977 by a pharmacist actually that said, hey, there was way too much emphasis on pharma options for consumers. How do we think about natural solutions and natural supplements? And so we started there. But I think what we've seen is people are going from, I don't just want to believe in only supplements, I also may choose pharma as a way. So I think a holistic solution to consumers' health and wellness journey, what we wanted to make sure is step back and say, as the Vitamin Shoppe, are we purely just a supplement nutraceutical company? Or are we really a health and wellness company? And we've taken a stance that we are a health and wellness company, and we want to make sure that to the extent that people are making choices between pharma and supplements, that we can really look at it holistically and support them from an educational standpoint, from a supplement standpoint, and from a pharma standpoint. Look, and we've seen a lot of people, I've seen customers and even our employees say, look, Lee, I've tried a lot of ways to lose weight. It's why we started the GLP-1, and we'll talk about other things that we're thinking about going forward on Whole Health RX. But they said, I've tried your supplements, I've tried willpower, and I'm struggling, and I'm 40, I'm 50 pounds overweight, my joints hurt, I don't feel well. And there's nothing else to do, and I saw I could actually buy a GLP-1. I could go, but I went on a D2C site, and I went to a med spa, and I said, well, how are they supporting me? What's the education? What are they doing to help from other aspects? I said, well, they're not, but I got my GLP-1, and it's actually helping me. And so we really thought about how can we really embrace that and give people the educational support, the supplementation support, because we want to make sure that we're not trying to have people be on a pharma option forever. We want to support them while they choose that, and then with an appropriate off-ramp to the extent it makes sense for them.
Yeah. So I'm curious about how you launched that. First of all, if you tell us, like, what is this journey for a customer? How do they engage? Is there a telehealth, is there a medical practitioner, or is it to prescribe it, and then you have the pharmacy side to dispense it? But maybe before you answer that, I would like to hear Vitamin Shoppe's journey. I imagine there was some fear and resistance, like this isn't what we do. We're a supplement and natural products company, and there's this one voice that says, let's step into this, and another voice that says, like, let's not step into this. And
there's no question internally we had a lot of discussion because it was a major evolution of our business to take this step. And as we really did think about it, though, we came back to, we really want to support people on their health and wellness journey. And to the extent that a pharma option makes sense, I think the bright lines between pharma and natural and supplementation nutraceuticals, they're blurring, and people are making choices. As we talk about personalization of people's health and wellness journey, and they're taking things in their own hands to say, this makes sense for me, and I'm gonna do this and this. We wanna make sure we were there from both aspects. So to go back to the journey, someone could come on our website or be in our store, they can scan the QR code, and it will take them into, with our telehealth partner, WellSync. And at that point, look, we're not a company, we're not in from the sense of doctors, et cetera, but we're teamed up with someone that does have the medical practitioners, and you go on that journey from there. But how we try and bring it back is, as you've signed up for, let's say, a GLP-1, we give people healthy awards. So we give them free awards so they can spend on supplements to help support their GLP-1. So we want to continue to bring it back holistically to say, we're going to support you on your journey. And to your point, internally, a lot of people did say, are we making a transformation that is outside and going to fundamentally change how we are as a company? And we said, no, we're here to support our consumers on their health and wellness journey. And I think people have actually accepted that and said, this makes sense.
did you ask the consumers? Did you do external research of your customers?
We did, yes, a lot of surveys out there to see how are you going to react. And what we have found is consumers have said, if I'm going to choose a GLP-1 or go on a telehealth journey, I'd rather go with someone like the Vitamin Shoppe that's a trusted brand that's going to do the research and make sure that I'm on an appropriate journey.
And then is the reality, the consumer reaction to this, is it in line with your survey findings? I mean, how are people accepting it?
Hey, so far, so good. It's a nascent effort from our perspective, and we want to make sure that, in what we've told people, it's really an extra option. And that's the other thing that we've really emphasized for our health enthusiasts. We're not telling people that GLP-1 or a pharma option makes sense. We're saying to the extent whatever makes sense for you and the choice that you make, we have that option for you as well.
Yeah. And so where's this going? You're doing just the one pharmaceutical, GLP-1 agonist drugs. What else is, you're probably not stopping there. So where else is Vitamin Shoppe going with the pharmaceutical telehealth angle?
So again, when we decided to make this evolution in our business, we said the first place we would start was GLP-1. The next place we're going to soft launch actually this week, so new news to people, you should see it on our website this week, is we will be doing testosterone replacement therapy as well for consumers to allow men, as they're watching their testosterone levels drop, how do they augment that? And we're seeing a lot of people say, hey, I don't have the energy, I've got the brain fog, the decreased libido, the other impacts of having decreased testosterone, how do I offset that? We sell a lot of supplements in our store of ways that you can try and increase that. But again, we have consumers say, Lee, it hasn't worked for me, and so therefore I guess I'm going to the med spa. So we want to make sure we gave them another option. And so that's one of many new things we will be delivering over the coming months and years.
And probably more to follow. It's interesting, it's almost like I think the poster company of this is Hims, right? Hims and Hers, doing the pharma angle, but doing it one drug at a time, not an all or nothing pharmacy, which is, in my lifetime, that's what a pharmacy is. They sell any drug your doctor might possibly prescribe, but this is an interesting model, really, right? To handhold someone on their health journey and say, okay, here's a GLP-1 drug, here's a testosterone drug, here's whatever you're probably not going to tell me the next drug is.
There are more things coming, but again, we want to make sure. I think I lost my mic. There we go. Yes, there are more things coming, but the difference between the traditional D2C companies and the Vitamin Shoppe is we continue to wrap it with the education and the nutritional and supplement support, that we want to make sure that consumers really do have that holistic journey where they can, make sure they feel good physically.
Yeah, okay. Well, speaking of health and wellness journey, I think this has been, I talked about your diverse professional background, and you've been in this industry now for a year and a half. Are you willing to talk a little bit about your own personal wellness journey that's paralleled that?
Yeah, no, happy to. Look, it's my wife she showed the picture of the before and after of Lee, and we won't show it up here, thank God.
Cue photo.
No, we're not. But I will say, when I came on board, one of the things that I really take to heart, I really try and dive into a company, and our motto is lifelong wellness starts here. And one of our many mottos. And I really took that to heart and said, look, I want to make sure that I think about my own health and my own lifelong wellness and what am I doing? And so I really, with the help of our health enthusiasts, because they saw me, and I said, hey, what should I be taking? And over time, I got a core supplement stack that really got me in a state of homeostasis where I felt better. And then I started to work out, I started to gain muscle, and I lost weight, and so I'm proud to say I've lost over 30 pounds in the over a year and a half that I've been part of the Vitamin Shop. I feel great and really pleased, and I did tell the health enthusiasts at my brand summit, and I mean this, because my doctor told me, he said, look, he wanted to put me on a lot of pharma drugs, and he said, look, you need a statin, we got to get your blood pressure down. I said, I really want to do this naturally, and I told the health enthusiasts at our brand summit, and I believe this, that they really did help save my life because I was not in a good place. He was convinced I was going to have a heart attack or a stroke, and I went back recently, had the whole blood panel and tests, and he said, look, this is amazing what you've done, and doing it all through supplements as well as physical exercise and a change in lifestyle. He says it's a real testament what the human can do on their own. So I was thrilled.
Yeah, that's really great. That's a great story. And that's all happened in the last year and a half. You took on, so that's really almost a coincidence. Your doctor is saying you need to do something, and you're taking a role at Vitamin Shop. Is that about right? Yeah.
It coincided nicely for me.
Yeah,
yes.
That's nice. Then you get a discount on the vitamins. Let's shift gears. There's one more thing I want to talk about in our limited time here. You're doing these partnerships, and you've got this hometown. What's it called? Hometown stores. Hometown stores. I think we have a video to roll on that. Let's look at this video and then let's talk a little bit about it.
We're about to head up to Vitamin Shop up in Sandy, Utah. They have a hometown store for us. I'm excited. This is the first time we've done this. Let's go. Now we're ready to go in and check it out. That's awesome. This looks really good. Lots of stuff. We got a whole wall. That looks awesome. Vitamin Shop, hometown store in Sandy, Utah. We have apparel, we have protein, all of our supplements. Get bucked up.
Nice. So what are we seeing there? What's the concept here with the hometown store?
So really, this concept goes back to how does the Vitamin Shop really partner with brands to ensure that we're allowing them to represent themselves in our store. And so what we've said to several brands is, hey, if you'd like to do something in our store where you can showcase yourself, let's do it. Let's lean in. Let's think outside the box and create almost a store-in-store concept within our traditional Vitamin Shop. And we've done 2 close to people's headquarters. We've got a few more coming that are outside where they said this is, for instance, our best store that we sell the most product out of, and we want to do it here. And it allows those brands to create that store. They make social content out of it. I think our consumers get excited. I will tell you, our health enthusiasts in those stores get very excited to see this. That's
very interesting. Well, that's good stuff. Let's take some questions from the audience. Do we have any? And Susan, are you going to run mics for us?
We got a question right there.
Yeah, I see a question. Now we just need to. Sorry if I sprung this on you, AV team. Here comes a microphone. Here, I'll run it. And if we could get Susan up here, that'll help a bit. Thank you, Sandy. We've got a question right there.
Can you hear me?
We can. We got you.
Yeah. So I have a question about the hometown stores. Is that a concept you plan to expand? And when a vendor is highlighted, is there a rotational schedule around that as well?
So it's a great question. to make sure everyone heard it, is are we going to continue to expand our hometown stores? Is there a timeline? Will we refresh it? So there are more coming of several brands that we will be
Oh, really?
having in various areas throughout the U.S., geographic areas. And obviously they do go ahead and refresh. Once we say, hey, this is your hometown store, we get excited because they can say as they have new launches, they want to have a new look, they will refresh that hometown store. So again, it really is, many of these brands don't have their own retail outlet. Bucked Up does, but for instance, we have a Rise hometown store. This really is their ability to act and showcase themselves in a retail concept and format. And we're seeing others that are really don't have any retail stores, and they will use us as their store in store, so they can actually create that look and feel of a retail store within our store.
And are these limited time partnerships contracted for 6 months, a year, something like that?
You know, it's actually been relatively open-ended from our perspective. As long as we think that it's beneficial for them and for us, we'll keep it up there. And so there's nothing sort of contractually on it.
Good. Okay, we've got another question right here in the middle.
But now, competitors come back, like proteins, obviously big advantage to try and true product.
Right.
There's a little more innovation in it.
Testing.
Oh, there we go. Nice.
Hi, Dr. Maripsaw from Queen of the Thrones. I'm so curious about your focus on hormonal health in your stores, and I'm curious if, when it comes to women, if you're only just looking at supplements, or if you're extending your line in terms of, like, say, beauty care, like anti-aging beauty care, real clean beauty. Like, is that a focus that the Vitamin Shop sees? Because it's a huge trend that's going on with, like, castor oil and different natural health products. So I'm really curious.
No, it is an area that we continue to look into. We know it's important, absolutely. It's certainly an area you'll see more from us in the future.
Good. All right. Yeah, the popular spot here, the middle. Yeah. These are the kinds of people who sit in the middle and they have lots of questions. Dun, dun, dun.
Ready?
Go.
All right. How do you train and keep your health enthusiasts educated on all the different supplements? Do you do expert voice? Do you do in-store trainings? How do you educate them?
That's a great question, but you seem to know a lot. We do expert voice. We have our in-store training. I will tell you today, what we're seeing from our younger generation is they really like the 1 and 3 minute little snippets. So we're doing little videos, very short TikTok-ish type videos to allow people to get that training. But we spend a lot of time and energy. As I said, our health enthusiasts are our secret sauce, and their knowledge. I mean, our brand pillars are expertise, innovation, and quality. And expertise only is true if our health enthusiasts have that expertise. So we spend a lot of time. As a matter of fact, at our brand summit, is many of you that may have come to that, where we just spend a tremendous amount of time in training and education for our health enthusiasts, because we know it's so important. To be special, to be a specialty retailer, you have to have that differentiation. And I ask customers all the time, I'm glad you're shopping with us. Why are you shopping with us? Because all these things you're buying, you could really buy somewhere else. And I always get the same answer, because I get expertise and education from your health enthusiasts. They help me, and they can help guide me in a store where I'm confused. And the last thing I say is and they know too, is the quality, knowing that we do stand behind it. And that's such an important piece for a consumer to say, we know the Vitamin Shop ensures the quality of their products. But the education is critical.
And I'm not just texting my kids here. I'm looking to see if there are any questions coming in online. I don't see any right now.
One more?
Yeah, one more question. Let's do it.
Is this on? Leslie Danford from Vitamines. How do you see the distinction between supplements and functional foods and beverages, and do you see that changing over time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, we continue to see that merge as we see that the functional foods and beverages really, play into people's how they think about their own health. I will tell you, I think about it differently now, and I think we're going to see that continue to integrate.
Great. Well, we are out of time, Lee. Thank you so much. Really
Thank
great
you
to
for
have
having
you
me.
here.
Yeah,
Thanks so
thanks.
much. All right.